Breaking news today. The accomplishments of the Ukrainian Defense Forces are analyzed by ISW. According to the Institute for the Study of Wars, ISW, experts, the defense forces have had further successes in the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions, and are also making progress near Bakhmut. At least 4 areas of the frontline saw Ukrainian counteroffensive operations on June 9, according to the report. According to Russia's Ministry of Defense, Russian troops successfully repelled Ukrainian ground attacks near Kreminna. Officials from Ukraine also reported on June 8 that their troops had made further offensive progress near Bakhmut, moving 1.2 kilometers forward. In addition, the defense forces maintained limited counter-offensive operations in the west of the Donetsk region on June 9 and saw tactical successes in this area, which is close to the border between the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions. A Russian source claimed that Ukrainian ground forces had achieved some success during their attacks on the west of the Zaporizhia region on the night of June 8–9 and the afternoon of June 9. According to analysts, Ukrainian officials have admitted that equipment losses are to be expected by Ukrainian troops during counteroffensive operations. Experts agree that the Russian command responsible for the conflict in southern Ukraine is poorly organized and likely duplicates itself. The analysts concluded that the command relations between these 4 military leaders of the Russian Federation, Romanchuk, Teplinsky, Kuzovlev, and Gerasimov, who are called the main responsible for Russian troops in this region, remain unclear after analyzing the statements and actions of the Russian military. Military cooperation between Tehran and Moscow is growing despite Western sanctions, and on June 9 the White House said that Iran was helping Russia build a drone factory in Tatarstan, Russia. Army General Valery Gerasimov, the head of the Russian General Staff, met with Liu Junli, the head of the Joint Department at the headquarters of the Central Military Commission of China, on June 9 to discuss bolstering Russian-Chinese military cooperation, according to analysts. On June 9, Ukrainian forces advanced further around Bakhmut and in western Donetsk as counteroffensive operations continued in at least 4 areas of the front. While the Kremlin has previously tried to downplay Ukrainian counteroffensives, Russian President Vladimir Putin acknowledged on June 9 that the counteroffensive had recently begun and noted that Ukrainian forces still have offensive potential. On the other hand, after Russian forces damaged more Western-provided Ukrainian military equipment on June 9, a large portion of the Russian information space falsely claimed that the Ukrainian counteroffensive had failed. During counteroffensive operations, Ukrainian forces can expect to lose equipment, according to official statements made by the Ukrainian government. It is unclear who in Russia's command structure is responsible for which parts of southern Ukraine, and there is probably duplication. Throughout the night of June 8–9, Russian forces launched missile and drone strikes across Ukraine. Additional evidence from multiple sources suggests that on June 6 the dam at the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant was destroyed by an internal explosion. Military cooperation between Tehran and Moscow is growing despite Western sanctions. On June 9, the White House revealed that Iran is helping Russia build a drone manufacturing factory in Yelabuga, Republic of Tatarstan, Russia. On June 9, Russian General Staff Chief Army General Valery Gerasimov met with his Chinese counterpart, Joint Staff Department Chief of Staff Liu Junli, to discuss expanding military cooperation between the two countries. There were a few isolated ground assaults south of Kreminna by Russian and Ukrainian forces. The Russian ground assaults near Bakhmut and along the Avdiivka-Donetsk city line continued. The administrative border between the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions and western Zaporizhia region were the targets of limited ground attacks by Ukrainian forces. Russia has reportedly regained access to Western microchips and electronics that it requires to produce military equipment despite continuing to evade international sanctions. Russian authorities may be planning evacuations of northern Crimea, according to a Ukrainian report. The deployment of tactical nuclear weapons to Belarus in July 2023, as announced by Russian President Vladimir Putin on June 9, does not represent an escalation of Putin's previous nuclear weapons rhetoric.